Welcome to the very first episode of what we are calling at the State Chamber, Faces of Free Enterprise. So Chad Warmington, State Chamber of Oklahoma, here with our chair, Rick Nagel, who's the chair of the State Chamber. And this is a passion project that Rick and I have been talking about. Rick really is driving it. We want to talk about free enterprise and how important it is to American success, Oklahoma's success. And we feel like we need to do a defense of it, is really what we feel like.
A little bit of defense and a little bit of offense at the same time. I think we're living in a strange age right now where people have put their own definition around what capitalism is and talked about it in the context of even the role that government has to play or should not play with respect to people wanting to start a business,
right,
and go to work and provide goods and services in a way that that right now is under odd assault.
It is. And that's what's so great to be here at the nation's capital, where our founders absolutely believed in limited government. They believed in free enterprise. It was the whole shoot match for them was based on those concepts. And so it's awesome to be standing here in front of our nation's capital to have that conversation. What we want to do over the next, we don't even know how long we'll do this, couple of weeks, months. We want to keep talking about it and continue to find examples of why free enterprise is so important and talk to some people about free enterprise. We're going to do some more of that while we're in DC. And then we're also going to have conversations with people who are in free enterprise and are making it all happen. So we want your input as you see us talk about this, as you have questions or you have ideas or suggestions on people that we should be talking to. Let us know, shoot us an email or drop it in the comments. But what we're going to do is we're going to have some conversations about why it's important. One of the questions that I wanted to kind of start off asking you was, why is it so important today? Why is free enterprise so important today?
Well, it's as important today as it was when our forefathers decided to marry up this American experiment with free markets. I mean, the first word in free markets is freedom. Yeah. And the whole idea is that property ownership, be able to price that property, right? And the idea that, but with pricing that property, I have a chance to make a profit on that. But within the context of it being a free market, I have a choice and the freedom to sell you that good or service or that piece of property. You have the freedom to buy it or not. I have the right to price it how I want to. You have the right to react to that in such a way that if I'm successful selling it, if I don't make a profit, I fail. And if I do make a profit, I succeed. But if it's not a good deal for you, you don't have to engage any further. And I think that is what this whole thing was based upon, right? The ability to buy something legally, sell something legally, the ability to try in the first place, and the need to fail, without being bailed out and some of the other things that we've seen, play out today.
Yeah. Well, I think the other thing that's really important is free enterprise is really about opportunity. It's about opportunity for small businesses, big businesses. It cuts across. It's about empowering people, and I think that gets lost a lot in translation as well.
It does. I think people today equate capitalism to big business, and somehow free enterprise to small business. Right. It's really the same word,
right?
Just taken out a slightly different context. But you need them all,
right?
And to say that a small business can't get big isn't fair to those that have made good decisions where the market wants more of those goods and services, and they get big by a function of free market demand. But as a consumer, I get to choose to go a different route with my dollar if I want to go spend it someplace else. But you need them all.
That's right. Well, in Oklahoma, sometimes it gets perverted a little bit too. And I wanted to kind of ask you about this. The small business, big business fight a lot of times ends up really being about kind of cronyism. There are people that are pushing back saying, well, it's a rigged system. And so they call it, it's a rigged system for big businesses, or it's a rigged system in general. But free enterprise at its core is about everybody having a free shot, big or little, right? And so kind of give me some of the, in Oklahoma, we're a populous state. We have a lot of those populist tendencies, but kind of highlight the competition maybe, or the difference between free competition and backroom deals. We're not defending cronyism. We're defending free competition. And there's a big difference.
100%. I think cronyism is impossible to defend. This notion that, and we've seen it play out where sometimes the politicians have overreached. This whole thing about too big to fail, in my view, is nonsense. And I think most people view it as nonsense as well. At the end of the day, the whole nature of a free market, free enterprise system is that companies live and they die. And then moment of that death. Parts of it are spun off, bought, repurposed for the new generation of capital to come in and take it to a new level.
Right.
And when you stop that natural evolution of things and you reward bad decisions, bad behavior, folks that don't have that, that aren't in the category of too big to fail, resent it, particularly when their taxpayer dollars are put to work. It's why it's important to elect pro-business candidates that can see those kind of things happening in the moment and put an end or put a stop to it before it goes too far. But I do think people get confused by this because because of how it's portrayed in the media. And I think part of what we're trying to do with this series is to talk about all this stuff very openly, talk about how we're positioned. We want the same deal for everybody. The right to try, the right to succeed, and the right to fail. And with that failure, a chance to reinvent yourself and go again.
That's right. That's exactly right. And tell us about, you're in a kind of a unique position in what you do. You see the stories, you see the businesses that were started by a guy with a dream, a gal with a dream. Give me just an example, and that's what we want to kind of hope to do over the next, however long we do this, is to highlight some of those stories, but just anything that jumps to the top of your mind of people you've worked with that are really embodiments of free enterprise, a business that you've helped grow or a business that you've seen help get started. Give me an example of that and why that's so important.
Oh, I mean, in Oklahoma, there's many examples. I mean, my business was a startup. Mm-hmm. The private equity business that we have today, 25 years ago, and we've had to move through multiple evolutions of it and adapt to changing markets and markets conditions to continue to stay competitive and be successful. But whether it's the local coffee shop, right, that you frequent, mm-hmm. A restaurant. I think about companies like Simply Modern, mm-hmm. Which decided they wanted to come in and do a little bit better job with respect to, creating customized drinkware and different things for the marketplace. I mean, there's just so many great Oklahoma stories. Yeah. I feel like if I call some out, I'm going to leave some out, and we're going to upset some people.
But that's great. But
there are so many great examples in Oklahoma. First of all, taking advantage of the fact, mention it here, one of the lowest cost places in America to engage and start and get a business going. Leverage that.
Yep, that's right. And that's what we're going to talk about a lot too over the next couple of weeks and months and years. Really, is how does Oklahoma leverage this great opportunity we've created? We have a great system in Oklahoma that's fair, low cost, abundant opportunities for businesses in Oklahoma. We're going to talk a lot about that as well. So as we talk about kind of wrapping up. Let's talk about what the road ahead looks like in terms of more of those entrepreneurial stories. What we want to hear from is you. We want some ideas, maybe some examples that we could use about entrepreneurs who really took advantage of this opportunity.
We're looking forward to bringing this message back home to Oklahoma. We're starting here because this is where it all begins. This is where This is where it's all, crafted and hopefully architected the right way. It's an interesting time when you think about what we're dealing with nationally, right? Yeah. Tariffs right now, obviously something that's on everybody's minds.
That's right.
Workforce is a national issue right now. Is the population of the United States somewhat kind of leveling out? AI, how that's affecting free markets around the globe, but particularly here, and our commitment to it. Lots of interesting topics we're going to explore and how this all weaves together as we bring it back home to our own state.
Man, I couldn't think of it. We just had about 6 episodes outlined right there. We're looking forward to it again. Chad Warmington, Rick Nagel in DC, Faces of Free Enterprise. Looking forward to the conversation. We'll see you soon.